Hello everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video. This one is next to the clustering. This is the one. This one may even be better than clustering because the clustering video that we did was really based on Ancestry's DNA clustering. This works for all services. MyHeritage FTDNA, 23andme, and Ancestry, of course. And if you're using the others to do clustering, you need to be using the leads method. You take them off into the spreadsheet, you start color coding those shared matches, and you may not know how they relate to you. But guess what? This video is going to show you how to start identifying those no matter which method you use, whether you use the leads method, whether you're using the Ancestry method, whichever one it is, this one is going to wrap it up for you. Forgive me, the graphics are kind of poor quality. We're still working on good ones. There'll be another video come out on this that's much better. But I want to get this out so that people can use it now, because people are looking for family. They're trying to break through, walls and find, mother, father, grandparents, as well as, looking for genealogical breakthroughs. This video is going to help you do that. All right. So stay to the end, because in the end, we're going to wrap this all up. It might get a little confusing along the way, but stay to the end. I promise you, this is going to help you. All right, so here we go. This is one half of my tree. See one parent there, and the grandparents and great-grandparents, and then I just took from here and worked it on up. And then this is the same thing in reverse, because our DNA match over here, for example, has a tree just like that. And we're going to match them through one parent to me. All right? So let's start by giving them a color. And again, this can be in your spreadsheet using the leads method, or it can be on Ancestry using dots. It doesn't matter. All right. What this means is you over here at 6800 and you match through somebody. Now you may match through two somebodies, but you are going to match always through at least one somebody. That's why I believe, I said in that one video that that's a kinship. You get a kinship through matching through one. You get a dual kinship through matching through two. And then what's going to happen is some of these DNA matches, the families are going to have intermixed. You may have triple, quadruple, quintuple kinships with that person. And that's not as uncommon as what you see. And the centimorgans reflect it slightly. Sometimes you get elevated, you say, oh, DNA doesn't divide every time because look at these inflated numbers. I am finding that those inflated numbers are typically representative of some stuff coming from other lines. Now, still doesn't always match, divide by 50. And once you get beyond second cousin, if second cousin once removed or third cousin, it can drop off to 0 on the division. So, but before that, it's very accurate. And even beyond that, we can use the colors to define our lines. So when we get this DNA match and we've given them a dot, we are actually saying that everybody between me to that person and to them are related. Now, I could put blue dots on all these people, and problem is there's all these other unknowns that are inside this triangle, like their first cousins over there, their second cousins, third cousins, fourth cousins that they have, and my first, second, third, fourth cousins that I have. They're on my side of this tree or their side of their tree. All these people in here related to both of us. So anybody that's taken a DNA test that matches them and me, all of them in that blue shaded area, okay, and everybody that's related right here are all going to have blue dots. So again, all my first cousins through here, through here, through here, all their first, second cousins in here are all going to be in this blue triangle. Everybody in here shares DNA with both the DNA match and myself. So they all have blue dots. So rather than, blue dot everything, put all these imaginary dots, I'm just going to say there's everybody inside that triangle and everybody on the line. Now, what about right here? That's his mother and then his grandparents right there. This grandparent is not DNA related to me. Just like my grandparent here is not related to them biologically. So they're not going to have the blue dot, and that already starts defining things for us. Now, in reality, you're not going to ever have to go that far back. Well, I'm going to say not ever, but it's very rare you're going to go this far back. Really, right here at the 212 is as far as you go.
and that would have made all these a little bigger, made it a lot simpler because, well, I'll just tell you why. So 34, 17, all the way up to 106. And you go down this line, 53, 26, 13, 6, 0, 0. So, this is 2 generations further, or 1 up and 1 down. This is really as far back as you're going to go for most of your matches. You could go back up in here. You might actually go in here in rare occasions, but that's very slim because of the DNA drop-off. So this is as complicated as it realistically is going to get. All right? So again, to reiterate, you have a DNA match. We have an unknown here. We don't know the name yet. That's fine. But we know that everybody along this perimeter and their perimeter here and inside that is going to have a blue dot. As well as what we can't see here is the ancestors of this person are also like a reverse triangle. So think of it like an hourglass. This line comes up here like this one comes up here like that, and that's all shaded in blue too. And I'll show you that here in a sec. All right, so now let's say that we have a match through the other person here, okay? So again, all the ancestors are going to be in that color, and so are all the descendants, including all the people here. So if I have right here, let's say where my cursor is moving right here, let's say I've got a DNA match right here, and they match me to this person, okay? Then all the descendants, because see, red and blue married, had kids. This is red and blue, which is represented by purple now. And that's why I didn't shade these triangles, so that it wouldn't all be shaded like that, because after a while it gets really dark. You start with a black thing on the screen. So here's blue only matches, here's red only matches, and here's red and blue matches. So what this means in our triangles is everybody in this red triangle down here is red and blue, and this piece like here, that's blue only. All right? So let's add in this person. And now we see what I'm talking about, that reverse triangle. All right, so this DNA match right here matches us to this person. That means everybody that's descended of this person to me has green, as well as every descendant over here, and then from their matches all the way here. Now, because they match me fairly close at a great-grandparent level, then those numbers are somebody that I'm probably going to pick up on pretty quick. But if you're looking for a DNA surprise like that, maybe you're not. But remember here, this is the person, these are their 2 parents, so everybody in that reverse triangle on up in infinitum, any DNA matches through here would show up as green only. Because under here, that means that this person green, this person that was red-blue, they married and had kids that are now green, red, and blue. So all these are green, red, and blue. So we're looking at all 3 of our triangles. You notice here, there's that, all that. There's inside of blue. My cursor is now inside of blue, inside of red, and inside of green. I come here, then my cursor is only inside red and blue, but not in green now. And I come up here, it's in blue only. Okay? That's why the triangle is like that. I'm going to add one more color. And there's yellow. And again, this is why I didn't shade it, because if I shade all these, it gets really, really crazy. But you see right here, now my cursor is inside of yellow and blue and green and red. Right here, there's a very small set that are all of these colors. Okay, so looking at this, let's say I have somebody that matches me, and I've clustered all my people. Everybody has at least 1 dot. And I've got some that are blue only. I'm looking at this now. What does that tell me? Well, it tells me they have to match out here along this line. If they're red only, they have to match above here. If they're green only, they're matching above here. And if they're yellow only, they're matching here or above here. Okay? So, by knowing it's yellow only, green only, red only, or blue only, that tells me where to look. It also, if you have more than 1 color, and I think that's what confuses the most people, is when it has multiple colors, they're like, well, this doesn't help me, it's got all these colors. Yeah, but once you see it on a tree, it makes sense. All right, so let's say that it's red and blue. Well, guess what? It doesn't have a green, so it can't be any closer than here. That's powerful. That's really powerful. Red and blue can only be here. It can't be further back or it'd be red. Can't be further back here, it'd be blue. It's red and blue. It has to be the child of red and blue. So I know now if this is red and blue, I know their parent. One of them is red, one of them is blue. So now all I have to do is find out, here's the two parents, which one matches over here into this person's line. Okay? So if it's red and blue, I know I'm looking only in this area. Okay? Now, if it also has red, blue, and green, it's right in this area, these two nodes and down. It can't be here or it'd have yellow too. So by knowing that this is yellow, green, blue, and red, or this is green, blue, and red, or this is blue and red, blue, red only, green only, yellow only, it tells me right exactly where to look in my tree. So now if I have their centimorgans, remember that whole ball and pattern we talked about, by knowing the centimorgans and knowing approximately how many nodes they are. If I know their colors, I know exactly where to look for them. So what you need to do is you need to make yourself a tree. And so you can just make you a tree, blank tree like this. And I'd print off a blank tree just on white paper. And then I would go to, a copy shop or, laminator or something like that, and just laminate over it. And then use a dry erase marker and start drawing it. Now, you don't know, like if you did here is yellow, and see right here, there's actually yellow over here. This whole thing was yellow. All right. I don't know which one of these sections would be yellow. Doesn't matter. I start with one of my sections and draw in my yellow dots, draw in my blue dots, draw in my red dots, and start seeing as they overlay. And once I do that, I may have to erase and do some modifications, but I know that if my blues are going to be on this side, my greens are going to be on this side, because none of those overlap. But after I do it, I'm going to get a tree that looks about like this. And once you get to this point, then you've actually worked out all of the edges in the puzzle. Remember, we talked about get your corners, do the edges, and then fill in. Well, once you get it like this, and let's say that you get an 850 match that's blue, okay? 34, 17, 850. That's the only place it can be. All right? So let's say it's a 425. So right here, 34, 17, 850, 425s could be here, but they wouldn't have taken a DNA test, or down one here. And it's going to be a singular, like a remarriage, because it's only one. It's not going to be a dual. Or if it was a dual here, it'd be in purple, with the red and the blue. So if it's only blue and it's right here, you're looking at a remarriage here, or potentially another child over here of them, or only of one of them. So you know exactly where to look based on the centimorgans. 34, 17, 850, 425 yellow. Okay? Or let's say I've got an 850 that is pink and yellow. So 34, 17, 850, pink and yellow. It's right there. Or let's say I have a 425 that's pink and yellow. Well, guess what? I know it drops off of here, pink and yellow. I know it's a child of these two. Just like this one's a pink and yellow, I know it has to be another child off of these two, pink and yellow. So by knowing your tree and knowing the colors, you're going to be able to really work out where they're at in your tree. Take your clusters, whether it be the Leeds method or whether it be off of Ancestry, and get you a tree and just color code. So I would just pick a color like blue and then mark from you all the way up a line. It's blue. You don't know, which side it's going to be. That's why, this doesn't have male on left, female on left, because, and I get that asked quite a bit when I do that. Why do you have the women on the left when most places put the men on the left? It's because when I look at trees, I'm looking at it completely gender neutral. I'm looking at it from, I have two parents. I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's male. I don't know if it's female. I just know I have two parents and I have a color. I'm going to assign the color to a gender neutral on one side, and then I'm going to figure out who it is. And the other one is the opposite gender. And that way, it may flip back and forth while I'm looking at it. It may be left, this may be a female here. This may be the female over here. I'm not bound by looking at this. I'm bound by the colors.
So what you want to do is put in your colors, put in your lines. Don't worry at first about getting it all, the females on one side, the males on another. First just work through, get all the colors on there where they all match and they all line up. Once you've got your colors and you've got them on your tree and you've got the colors, maybe get the sticky dots from Walmart or something like that, Amazon, whoever you order from, and put the sticky dots on there on the laminated when you know for a fact this is the right way to have it. Then all you got to do is you get a match, you look up the shared matches, you see how the color code is for them, and voila, you know exactly where they're going to match on your tree. I know that they're yellow only. Well, I know that they're going to be right in this area. I know they're blue only. They're in this area. They're purple. They're red and blue. Okay, so they're going to be off in this area. Or green and cyan. I know they're off of one of these two nodes someplace. Or this is supposed to be orange, believe it or not. When you lightened it up, it turned into almost like a yellow. But this is really an orange. So if it's an orange, I know it's over here. So once you get your color code, then all you need to know is the centimorgans. What this also does is when you have a match, and let's say they're blue only, since you know they're going to match you in this area, your parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, you're going to look at one of your 8 great-grandparents and see if they have that in theirs, or if you're 2 ex-great-grandparents. You're going to look because you know that these 3 should be on their list somewhere. Somebody somewhere over in this match list is probably going to have something that matches these surnames. And when they do, you can start filling in your tree. So again, like the puzzle, you got the corners, you got the outsides. Now you're going to try and fill in this color section of your tree, like a color section of a puzzle. Like, let's say it's a picture of flowers and maybe a puppy in there. Okay, well, the puppy is brown, let's say, or for the purpose of our example, we'll call the puppy blue. And then the flowers over here are yellow and maybe some green leaves and some orange tulips or whatever. So you're getting the different pieces of the puzzle and you're putting them together. And you're going to get this from other people's trees. You can go out there, you're going to find, and fill in this. So you're going to work with yours, trying to go far back as you can. Then you're going to go over theirs and try to come in. And you're going to go yours, theirs, until you fill out this section. Same thing over here with this or in this, until you fill it out. And that's how you can fill out your tree. Clustering is the most powerful thing because it tells you exactly where to look. When you look at this, and I have my color codes on my family tree, I can look at the color codes for any DNA match, know their centimorgans, look at my tree, and I can tell you within a generation where they're going to match in my tree and which ancestor, because if I know these ancestors, and most of you do, unless you're looking for a DNA surprise, you're going to know exactly where they connect. You've got the centimorgans, you've got the person, and you've got the color. It doesn't get much easier than that. So whether you use the Leeds method, the Ancestry, dots for clustering, doesn't matter how you've clustered your matches. If you do this, you will get your answers. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I know I talk fast, but it's a video. It's on YouTube. You can pause it, rewind, or hit replay and do it again. I will make a better video. Don't know when that'll be. It'll probably be after Christmas because it's only going to get busier at this time of year. If you found this helpful, if you were able to use this to help find a DNA surprise or to break down a wall, consider using the QR code above. Or if it really was a spectacular breakthrough, I know that in the ball and pattern one, I had some people in our Facebook group said, I've got some 4-year-old questions we were able to break through just by using the ball and pattern. It gave me this new way of looking at it, and then boom, I looked in exactly the right spot, found the resources, found some censuses and some other documents that supported that, and presto, 4-year-old problem out the window. So, it will help. If it does help you, consider being a long-term supporter on Patreon, or, you can do a subscription through the QR code or a donation through the QR code. Every little bit helps. And maybe I can get somebody who's better at graphics to help me make something. I know Sherry made some really good ones over the ball and pattern one that she put in the Facebook group. But I need some really talented people, and I need to be able to compensate them for it. So consider supporting the channel. with the QR code above. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you subscribe, don't forget to click the bell notification so you know when the next one's going to come out, because you never know which one's going to be the one that helps you break through that wall. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will talk to you again soon.